me like a pussy's way. I am weak. I've been locked inside your heart shape for weeks. I've been drawn into your magnetic betrayal. I wish I could eat your cancer away. You turn back. Hey, wait, I've got a new complaint. Whatever in that to your past is about. Hey, wait, I've got a new complaint. Whatever in that to your past is about. Hey, wait, I've got a new complaint. Whatever in that to your past is about. You're the one. Meaning of his forgiveness, one just yet. Come myself all in your head and be friend. Broken hymen of your highness, I'm left friend. Throw down your blinker like a noose so I can climb right back. Hey, wait, I've got a new complaint. Whatever in there to your brother. Hey, wait, I've got a new complaint. Whatever in there to your brother. Hey, wait, I've got a new complaint. Whatever in there to your brother. You're the one. She has me like a pussy's when I am weak. I've been locked inside your heart shape for weeks. I've been drawn into your magnetic betrayal. I wish I could eat your cancer away. You turn back. Hey, wait, I've got a new complaint. Whatever in there to your past is about. Hey, wait, I've got a new complaint. Whatever in there to your past is about. Hey, wait, I've got a new complaint. Whatever in there to your past is about. You're the one. You're the one. You're the one.
Oh, oops. Should have turned that off. All right, guys. Before we watch our totally awesome, damn it, hold on. Hanford, where are you when I need shit set up? Fucking Hanford. Lollygagging. Playing his Nintendo tapes. All right, guys, before we watch our dank UFO documentary from the late 70s. Let's take a little trip back. One more time, huh? One more time. This is a special occasion, guys. The greatest fan film ever made, guys. One more time. Oh shit. It's a badass little dude.
Ready?
The greatest fan film ever made. A little guy adventure. See? Nintendo tapes will rot your dome. And just so you know, I downloaded this. Even if they get rid of this off YouTube, I have it forever now. Thank you.
I believe these belong to you. Hello. I remember the day your mother was born. Her cries echoed through these halls. She'd be very proud of the woman you've become. If you need anything, I won't be far away.
Yeah, I need to go
Thanks to
upstairs.
you. It was a wonderful gesture for leaving me that cottage. For leaving me that cottage.
I'm with that. I'm with that dude. I'm with that bitch.
You didn't have to do. I'll see you soon.
None of that to you first. Time to party, dudes. Is that cookies? Please be cookies. Take off the handbrake. I don't know how to weed.
Dearest Athena, by the time you find this letter, I'll be gone, and the estate will belong to you.
Fuck you.
You'll make a fine lady of that, I'm sure. The book in front of you is possibly the greatest historical find in centuries.
Oh.
It is the diary of Judas Iscariot,
I don't know how to read.
one of the 12 disciples of Jesus Christ. It is proof that Jesus did
It's
indeed...
really just, since she doesn't know how to read, it's really just like it's really just like a phone book. Damn it, get out of here. You don't belong here. What are you doing? Wrong show.
lived over
Hanford.
2,000 years ago, and that
Fucking
he is
Hanford.
eventually betrayed. Of course, it could also cause great unrest if this was ever known to the public. That is why I kept it hidden, but my efforts failed. People came for it. Ruthless men who will stop at nothing to get it.
Those bastards.
So I will face them, and I won't see you again, though it tears me apart. I must
This
let
is
the
all
world
messed
believe
up.
I'm dead, so that you will be safe. I
Damn it.
hope you can forgive me.
Thank you.
I only ask you do not look for me. I can take care of myself. One day,
I'm fucking
more may
everything
come
up.
for the diary. If that day comes, you must protect it, whatever it takes.
Right.
I'm sorry. I must put this burden on your shoulders, but you are strong, Athena.
No, she is the burden.
You have been from the moment you were born. I'm sorry. I must put this burden on your shoulders, but you are strong, Athena. You have been from the moment you were born. But you are strong, Athena.
Come on.
You have been from the
Man.
moment you were born, which is the reason you were
Sorry,
given
guys.
that name.
I'm messing everything up.
My darling girl, my life changed the day you came into it because whatever happens, I want you to remember.
They need to edit like a clip of like a cat exploding. Put a cat
This world
exploding
holds
in
no
that
greater
shooting
treasure
montage.
than you.
Awesome.
always.
Totally awesome.
Mum.
I didn't have a lot of time to set up, guys. So- Huh? What is that? Is that my mumsy? Is that my mumsy? She would wreck Steven Seagal. I had to change my dabu.
I've been beside him for 29 days now. And I freely
Frank
admit
Dukes is
that
dangerous.
in the beginning, I was skeptical. Many of us were.
No.
But I cannot deny what my own eyes have seen. He is much more than a gifted healer. Upon his touch, the darkness around those he tends to is shed.
Powerful
As if
story.
there is a new life in them. We are truly witnessing the presence of God himself.
Huh?
I do not know how much longer I can live this way. I am nothing more than a shadow beneath his greatness, and I grow tired of it.
Simmer down, little guy.
The Romans hunt us, and I know what he is worth. I shall be a shadow no longer.
Kitty Kate can't act this well. Duh. Now I know what I must do. Ice cream? Oh shit. Now you're done for, little guy. Shit. Little feller's done for. Those pants are painted on him, guys.
All the rooms. It's there somewhere.
What about the girl?
She's harmless. But should there be any complications necessary?
She knows kung fu, dude. Time to beat up the local tart. Oh no. Fuck you, asshole.
Where is it?
Suck my dick, idiot. Just punched the tart in the dome. Yeah, bitch. Yeah, you better run. Can't outsmart the tard. Uh-oh. Calm down, little guy. You had to sucker punch a tard, dude? Ugh. You motherfucker. I'm gonna kill you. The perfect crime. Oh shit! How'd you get there so fast? Nice one, dude. Cocksticker. Pussy ass. A classic. A tale as old as time. Who that ugly ass Bill? I forget who this is. She's going on a big adventure, guys. This sucks. Alright, story. I want more tart and chair. Mumsy liked alcohol and meth. And she liked to sit on the microwave for some reason. Time for my big adventure! That's right. More wheelchair accident. Oh shit. Dangerous little guy. I'm out of here. I hope those tombs have ramps. Sorry, guys. Alright, who cares? I just thought we'd watch that for the hell of it. Alright, guys. Damn, I closed my... Classic movie. Alright, guys. Can I do this without fucking it up is the question. That is the question. I can, kind of. Guys, we're watching Overlords of the UFO, 1976. Hanford was only 30 years old back then, right, Hanford? Hey, Hanford, speaking of Hanford, get the damn lights. Hanford, just get the damn lights. Thank you, Hanford. Alright, guys, you ready for UFO goodness? Can you handle the UFO goodness? What an intro. I'm glad I could help. Overlords of the UFO. Oh, that's gonna be dank, guys. Oh, Uri Geller. I trust everything that guy's in. Hanford's Artorgo. Well, you need a scientific advisor when you're just making shit up. Hey, can that work? No. Oh. Well, science, man. Help me out here. How do I get aliens to fart out of their own dick?
Over the last 20 years, I have been a television and radio reporter in the Pacific Northwest.
Me too.
And during that period of time, I have passed along to the public
Fuck.
hundreds of
Oh,
stories.
fuck. Yeah. Oh.
It's not an angry letter when you skip cop block. It's an angry letter, broken tail lights, parking tickets, speeding tickets, manned animal control will take away pickles. Never skip cop block.
I never skipped cop
From
block.
all portions of the world.
I did not
about
skip
the
cop block.
UFOs, the
Thank you.
unidentified flying objects, the flying saucers. I have seen UFOs.
No, you haven't.
But in all of those news stories, I've detected one missing fact. One incredible, glaring omission.
Why do they call them Apple Jacks when they don't even taste like apples?
Not one world public agency or scientific group has even offered a partial solution to this most amazing mystery of all time.
Oh, mysteries.
No public authority has told us who are the overlords of the UFO. And why are they here, right now, at this time? There is no Air Force defending any portion of this planet that can truthfully deny that the following documented incidents did take place and that similar incidents are taking place almost every day, somewhere in the world. In the southeastern United States, military aircraft have disappeared, and UFOs have been connected with those disappearances. Near Pascagoula, Mississippi, two
Pascagoula?
shipyard workers were taken aboard a UFO and given physical examination.
Come on, shipyard workers. It's penis inspection day.
In 1976, in Kentucky, 3 women were taken aboard a UFO and terrorized while the humanoid crewman of the UFO gave them
Becky's mom.
Examination.
Examination. Why do fucking aliens always want to look at our taints?
1975, an oil exploration foreman, while elk hunting, was picked up by a UFO along with the elk and was medically examined and returned to the elk hunting area by the UFO crewman. In Arizona in 1975, while working in open country, Travis Walton was zapped away for 5 days and kept aboard a UFO.
That'll learn you.
A few weeks previously, near Alamogordo, New Mexico, a member of the U.S. military was examined by the humanoid crewman of a UFO.
They just want to look at her junk.
Rather than reveal that fact, the U.S.
Space
military found
sodomites.
duty for Staff Sergeant Charles L. Moody in Western Europe. Before the kidnappers of the UFO, humans seem helpless. The largest circulation newspaper in the United States offers a $1 million reward for decisive UFO information.
Yeah, and I bet they never paid out. Never.
According to
Not once.
UFO contactees, this is what a UFO humanoid crewman looks like. This
A real
is
asshole.
the best UFO photograph in the world.
That is not a real photo. It's from a movie or
took it
something.
years ago and kept it secret. NASA reveals its UFO policy. NASA astronauts have seen UFOs.
No.
You'll learn for the first time what
Better
the
have
Air
evidence.
Force Academy teaches its cadet officers about the reality of the UFO. You'll learn UFO fact, not science fiction.
Oh.
In a surprise ending, you'll see the answers to this incredible
surprise
worldwide UFO mystery.
The butler did it.
The origin of the alien intelligences who are the overlords of the UFO.
What's that even mean? Yeah, that's right, Crate. If it's not in a tree, it's not real.
You know, Captain, I keep thinking about a real problem, and it's bugging me.
You know, Captain, I keep thinking of a real problem. Hey, it's bugging me. His acting's great.
Well, remember the TWA case when Captain Schemmel dived under a UFO and about a dozen passengers got hurt?
Boy, I sure do, yeah.
Ever think of what that would be like on a 747?
Well, I've thought about it, but I don't talk about it too much.
Well, we got 300 or 400 passengers and 20 stews moved around the cabin.
I could feel the reading.
Most of the passengers don't keep their seat belts fastened. Now, if a big UFO came on a collision course, and with a 747 cruising at over 600 miles an hour, we'd have just a couple of seconds to take an evasive action of some sort, a dive or a zoom.
Right on.
300 people would be smashed around and a lot of them hurt. Some could be even killed.
Killed?
You couldn't tell what would happen in that cabin.
Probably panic.
Well, panic at the
Hey, what did I tell you about talking when we're flying? Remember that whole thing where I said that talking thing we should cut down on?
You know, even if you got control and got down okay, the airlines couldn't hide a thing like that. But the FAA doesn't want to hear about UFOs, and they don't tell us, that's for sure. Now, if we talk about UFOs to the news media, we somehow get blacklisted and our jobs are in jeopardy. As an airlines pilot, no matter how many UFOs I see in the air, I'm not telling anybody about it.
You know that dude just put on headphones. Dude just put on headphones and listen to some dank 1976 jams.
In the last half of this century, there has been one mind-boggling giant of a mystery, which has overridden the knowledge gathered by mankind through the ages. There seems to be no answer to the reason for the
Could you shut
appearances
up?
of the unidentified flying objects, the UFOs.
The UFOs, guys.
Public opinion pollster George Gallup reports that perhaps 15 million U.S. citizens, scientists, and other responsible observers have seen the so-called flying saucers.
Flying saucer.
The UFOs.
Stop saying the UFO.
Who are the overlords of the UFO? What is their origin and their mission?
I know their mission. You want to know? You want to know what the mission is of the UFOs, guys? You won't believe it when I tell you. But here it is, for the first time ever.
Sit back and indulge. So
that is
On
the
July
goal of the
31st,
UFO.
1952, in the Italian Alps north of Milan, engineer Gianpietro Mongusi took these pictures of the landing of a UFO on the rough ice of the Churchill Glacier.
Very believable.
The UFO landing was only 3 minutes in duration. A humanoid in some kind of spacesuit with equipment on his back emerged from the UFO.
A humanoid? That was just
walked
Cobes.
partway around it and then re-entered. And Mongusi had the pictures to prove it.
Can we see them? Could we see those pictures today? Oh no, I don't have them anymore. Can I see the negatives?
Verification of the origin of these photographs was made for the producers of this motion picture by a Swiss researcher and niece of psychiatrist Dr. Carl
They're gonna take our Kazar milkers?
Young, Miss Luz Instag. Since that time, world newspapers have made note of UFO stories in all degrees, from casual
It's an invasion
to news of an all-out UFO invasion.
Look at that.
The mental health of UFO observers was questioned. From 1951, another
I like the 70s space music where it's just basically like bloop, 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 bloop.
photograph of a UFO from Riverside, California, showing the very significant bell-shaped configuration with 3 spheres.
Hey, I need some space music real quick. Okay, give me 2 seconds.
Boom, 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 boom. Beam, 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 boom, boom.
Space!
Projecting from its underside. This is the most familiar type of UFO and has been seen and photographed worldwide by UFO researchers. Who are
Tell
the
him, Jack.
alien intelligences behind this type of space travel device? Are the UFOs friend or foe?
I think they're assholes if they're trying to look at our poopers so much. Hey, aliens, you see one pooper, you see them all.
1973, another significant UFO picture shows not only the anti-gravity device operational, but also with it is a smaller degravitated sphere under the control of the alien intelligences of the UFO. Who are the overlords of the UFO?
Yeah, it's Cobes' hat.
In the Mediterranean on a Sicilian beach.
He tried to play Star Spangled Banner outside and fucked it up and threw
Small
it.
UFOs in the act of materialization from another dimension are observed by excited local citizens.
They tried to pass that off as real.
Materialization, a concept far beyond the understanding of modern science, but used by the alien intelligences of the UFO. A PhD in biochemistry on the faculty of the University of Oregon in Eugene took this picture of a UFO.
Cool, what's his name? Last time I checked, PhD wasn't a name.
The act of materialization from another dimension.
Look at that.
3 times during the shutter snap interval, the UFO appeared and disappeared, and here is the evidence. The scientist, fearful of the scorn of his fellows, kept his name secret. He had no desire to investigate one of the most incredible events of the science of the coming 21st century, to which he had been witness and to which he had photographic evidence.
This is music. It's very 1980s Casio.
Kidnappings have occurred of military jets, people, and automobiles full of people. The military is helpless, and so are the police departments of the world.
We gotta protect the
Where
bunglers.
is the origin of the UFOs? UFO Quebec carried this sketch of a UFO humanoid crewman.
That's Cobes, dude. Put fucking glasses on him. Put put the glasses and hat on him. It's Cobes. Oh.
The military carried this sketch of a UFO
What's
humanoid
up, Tubes?
crewman. Quebec carried this sketch of a UFO humanoid crewman with a map of the star system in the vicinity of Zeta Reticuli,
Oh, that was a thing of
many
Tony's.
light years away. This was
That's right,
indicated
it's
to
Cobes.
UFO contactees
Damn
Betty
it.
and Barney Hill.
I'm fucking up today, man. This is when I have no time to fucking like prepare. I'm just gonna go in and do it. I always
Is it
fuck
truth,
everything up.
or is it a cover-up story?
It's a fucking cover up.
2 UFOs over San Francisco, similar to UFO surveillance stories and photographs to come from every major city.
That's
in the
real.
world.
That's the realest picture I've ever seen.
Iron
I
Curtain
swear to
scientists
God.
have stated publicly their feeling not only that UFOs are real, but that
Click my link, everybody, so I can get free money.
they have the same type of experiences which match those published in the Western world. We now reveal the facts of the
Oh,
UFO,
now we trust
which
the Soviets?
couldn't be kept secret. The planet's most incredible unsolved mystery. Despite the cover-up efforts of world governments, a world silenced by fear, and a helpless world military, private scientific investigators
Wish I was a
all over the
UFO.
planet have contributed the UFO evidence which we now reveal. The UFO, the secret that couldn't be kept, that can no longer be covered up.
Well, what is it? What's the truth?
Mount Rainier in the state of Washington was the area where private pilot businessman Ken Arnold, flying back to his Idaho home, first saw 9 disc-like flying objects on the sunny afternoon of 24 June, 1947.
9 of them? That's an
They were moving
invasion.
at 1,500 miles an hour, a speed far
How'd you know how fast they were going?
exceeding anything we could put into the air at the time.
You know, you see something in the air, you're like, hey, that's going 1,500 miles an hour. How do you know that?
When he landed his airplane at Pendleton, Oregon, he reported the sighting of inverted saucers moving at incredible speeds. The next day, on the radio news broadcasts and in the newspapers, the story sensationalized the term flying saucers.
Oh, shit.
The previous summer of 1946, a member of the U.S. military encountered a giant UFO in a near-miss aerial situation, and the Air Force kept the threat to air safety secret.
Those bastards.
This event happened on the
Share the
first day
wealth.
of August 1946 to the man second in charge of flight safety for the U.S. Tactical Air Command,
Tactical soap.
Captain Jack E. Puckett.
U.S. tactical soap.
Captain Puckett's UFO encounter occurred about 30 miles from MacDill Air Force Base near Tampa, Florida, where his twin-engine C-47 airplane nearly collided with an airborne object about twice the size of a B-29 bomber, or about 300 feet long. His report further described the UFO as being cigar-shaped or cylindrical, and with what
Oh.
appeared to be glowing
Couldn't that just be a flying saucer that you're looking at?
holes.
Right.
Governmental
Cigar-shaped?
agencies have not responded to anxious questions from UFO observers. The Federal Aviation Administration has
It was a
no
damn flying tube.
UFO
Tubes?
policy or opinion. The U.S. Air Force
says it has aborted its UFO study program. No answer has been publicly given. UFOs still continue to be sighted worldwide.
Oh, shit. Language.
At the U.S. Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, the cadets in training will become the officers who will police our airspace for the next crucial decade.
I can't wait to bother that guy on my street who's constantly lighting fireworks.
While in the air, in the most complex airborne machines that our engineering science can design, they will encounter the far more sophisticated UFO, which worldwide research has now shown can disable the most reliable electrical and electronic systems of an airplane.
Whoa, fancy.
The course of instruction at the U.S. Air Force Academy must contain some reliable information concerning the reality of the UFO. Of all government agencies questioned, the most
Stop saying the UFO. That's weird. The UFO.
Responsive answer to that question
Seems weird.
has come from the Department of Physics at the Air Force Academy in a letter from its former director, Colonel Anthony J. Maione, who says in part, in this text, an expanded section on UFOs and extraterrestrial life is included. The section attempts to provide a hopefully unbiased summary of UFO information and concludes, the best thing to do is to keep an open and skeptical mind and not take an extreme position on any side of the question. To further expand on the background, we hope our graduates
How could people ever read this back in the day?
We
Can't read
invited
that.
and had Dr. Stanton Friedman visit with us last April. During
This
his
could be this guy's grocery list for all we know.
he presented 2 large audience lectures and 2 seminars, essentially in support of his subject, Flying Saucers Are Real. I hope you gather that we do make a continuing and real effort to provide our students with all views of current topics. They are expected to come to their own mature conclusions.
That's a good point. It could be
based
Mexican
upon
airplanes.
the broadest foundation of knowledge and information that we can provide.
There's a lot of UFOs in Mexico,
Yours
in Mexico
truly,
City.
Anthony J. Maione, Colonel, United
Maybe
States
Mexico is a secret UFO.
Force,
Secret
Professor and
UFO
head of the
air
Department
base.
of Physics. He tells of the text Introductory Space Science and reveals exactly
Science nerds.
what the cadets at the Academy are being taught about UFOs today.
It's a giant sombrero. That's why they're always
These are
seen
the
in
men
Mexican
who will
or
have
Mexico
to make
City.
Crucial decisions while in the air when they encounter the incredible UFO. In the past, officers of the air forces of the world were given no instruction or any preparation whatsoever for this mind-chilling experience when they meet the spacecraft of the overlords of the UFO face to face.
Imagine you were one of the unlucky idiots to get into one of these stock footages of like soldiers marching and some guy talking about UFOs. Like you're like, yeah, there's my stupid head in this movie. There's
Or
my
have our
stupid
astronauts
fucking
been
head in
given
this
proper
documentary.
instruction?
Of course, that's where I'd end up.
From Introductory Space Science, Volume 2, page 466. Possibility of alien control of UFOs on the basis of preconceived notions not established as related to the UFO. Our physics
Dude, you better get
may
some more
not
pictures.
apply. From available information, the UFO phenomenon appears to have been global in nature for almost 50,000 years. Known witnesses have been reliable
Oh
people.
no. Is this another plane
This
movie?
leaves us with the possibility of alien-controlled UFOs by visitors to this
Yeah,
planet
like those people with the fat asses, they're always zoomed in on their asses walking down the sidewalk.
from this solar system or other solar systems.
Hey, that's my ass. Fuck you, Channel 5.
The existence of at least 3 or possibly 4 different groups of aliens, possibly at different stages of development, which implies the existence of intelligent life on the planets
Want
in
more
our
alien.
or a surprisingly strong interest in
There it
Earth
is.
by members of other solar systems, the Air Force Academy text admonishes its officers in training to keep an open mind on the baffling subject of unidentified flying objects.
Whoa!
Maybe it's the honeymoon capital of this corner of the galaxy. Maybe
The lecture.
Look at that cool dude. That guy is a party animal.
Were selected by the U.S. Air Force Academy to establish for their officers in training that flying saucers are real was
UFHs?
Friedman. He had been appearing on the lecture circuit in various U.S. colleges as a UFO analyst with a high level of scientific training. Friedman's academic background includes a bachelor's and master's degree in nuclear physics from the University of Chicago. His employment background
He was like, get me away from this dude. This guy's creepy.
Included much high-level work in space science in the area of fusion rocket research and nuclear-powered aircraft. He was 14 years with such aerospace contractors as TRW Systems.
He wouldn't shut up about usury.
Westinghouse, and General Electric. He says UFOs are the most challenging scientific problem of this or any other age.
Yeah, okay, Friedman.
He made the following statements in public in Seattle, Washington, the home of one of the world's largest aerospace manufacturers.
I want to go home.
Boeing.
The government has never really said what it's been credited as saying, that there are no flying saucers. They really word their press releases very carefully. The press takes it that last step. I think every government in the world has three major problems along these lines with regard to UFOs. One, they'd like themselves to figure out how it works, because it makes a great weapons delivery system. It makes anything worth flying look pretty naive by comparison. Two, you'd want to make sure that the other guy doesn't figure out how to duplicate their behavior, because then you have a defense problem. If he's got something that flies like these things, we got a problem because we can't handle it. And three, perhaps most important, a kind of philosophical political problem. As soon as it becomes obvious to the people on the planet and widely accepted that flying saucers are real and from off the Earth, there's going to be a push for a view of man as Earthlings, the people on this planet. Instead of I'm an American or Russian or Chinese, I'm an Earthling. There is no government that wants its citizens to owe their primary allegiance to the planet as opposed to the country. Nobody wants to give up their power.
Stop talking to
all
me.
These jokes about take me to your leader, that's wishful thinking. What's funny about those is that there is no leader to be taken to. There's nobody who speaks for planet Earth. So there are enormous
Hanford.
political
Take him to
problems
Hanford.
with anybody saying, yes, there's somebody out there and he's coming here and he doesn't want to talk to me as a representative of the planet.
Well, he
how
looks
do
great.
we choose who speaks for the planet? I don't know.
Either Hanford or Scott Baio. Scott
Since the
Baio. Frank
1950s,
Stallone. Take him to Frank
It has
Stallone.
been easy to point to the millions of suns in space and speculate that somewhere out there is the home of the UFO. That UFOs are spacecraft
Right there, I see
from some other Earth, orbiting some other sun, just like ours.
Just like mine?
From a visible sun in the visible universe. Perhaps so, perhaps not. But the UFOs could also be from an invisible dimension, in the invisible portion of the universe, which our science cannot easily detect. Perhaps one or possibly both of these concepts will one day
One of the best Trump tweets were, if we ever discovered that UFOs existed, America would immediately start sending them money.
be the explanation of the
That's
origin of the
one of his
UFO.
best tweets.
The Air Force Academy text on space science concedes that 2, 3, or even 4 levels of alien intelligences might be involved.
That's right. Mars needs
NASA at the
money.
Johnson Space Flight Center near Houston, Texas, only concerns itself with the visible universe, with aerospace contracts administering the manufacturing of visible metal vehicles, making visibly televised trips in the Earth-Moon area.
The Earth-Moon
Probed
area?
within the solar system by unmanned devices.
They put cameras in your toilet? That's gross, aliens. That's fucking gross, dude.
NASA astronauts in their Skylab make a track across the nighttime sky, lit by millions of suns. The activities of the astronauts are minutely planned and carried out, but the framework is that of Earth science, as we understand.
I bet
in
people thought this, like, people back in the day were like, yeah, let's watch this about aliens. This is the part where they're like, oh, no. I paid to see this.
there seems little room for productive scientific speculation, perhaps because of the $38 billion NASA space budget.
Is the Earth-Moon area the no-no square?
Which is highly criticized in many quarters. It is difficult to explain why the planners of NASA's space program would refuse to admit the spacecraft capabilities of the alien intelligences who built this device, first seen over the Korean battle area in 1952 and photographed by the U.S. military.
That's fucking evidence right there. Proof. Everyone knows aliens are demons.
This picture was available to NASA. Obviously, it is not a picture of anything manufactured by humans on this Earth.
This looks like a hubcap. You gotta have a better picture than that, dude. That better not be your only fucking picture.
It was classified then and now as an unidentified flying object, a UFO. Can we now identify it? Is this actual proof that alien intelligences use a spacecraft like this to travel from their dimension to our reality?
Right.
Is a Watergate-type scientific cover-up
That's right.
involved?
Space isn't even real.
Let's now examine.
They can't get past the dome. They can't get past the dome.
Possibility.
Actually, Delford had some of Kay's cooking and just threw the plate out the window. He went, and just tossed it. That's where you got your first UFO. That sucks.
NASA first had warnings of UFOs
Or Ziggy
from the
threw it.
pilots of its own X-15 project, a rocket-powered airplane which is launched high over the desert test area in California. The B-29 bomber is the launch vehicle which takes off, flies to its highest possible altitude, and then launches the little rocket-powered airplane. The
Where's
test
it going?
pilot gives it power, and the airplane goes through its maneuvers. Various complex engineering problems are worked out by such testing. And the engineering flight test pilot
better hit someone
is
right in the
one busy
face.
man.
Where's it going? What? I didn't get to see the outcome.
But on May 30th, 1962, test pilot Joe Walton photographed 5 disc-like objects from the X-15 rocket test airplane. The UFOs were very similar to the disc-like objects seen over Mount Rainier 15 years earlier by Ken Arnold. NASA made no public mention of what the discs were, their origin,
gotta try
or
harder.
any scientific speculation whatsoever about this observance of their X-15 project.
I don't know when in England sees fucking UFOs.
By
What about that?
intelligences of the UFO.
You never hear UFOs in England.
On
You never
July
hear
17th
German UFOs.
of that same year,
It's just Mexico
this
and
time
America.
at an altitude of about 58
Maybe a Canadian one here and there. But that's about it.
Test pilot Bob White noted that he had UFO company and photographed unexplained objects even closer to his X-15.
Tell him, Dick.
Across the nation, news headlines state that 26 astronauts have seen and photographed UFOs.
No.
The public is puzzled by NASA's
Didn't see
silence
shit.
on the subject. The producers of this motion picture were answered on 2 occasions by high public affairs administrators of NASA, who stated,
Yeah, it might be cool.
in order to investigate the UFO.
Freud Kelloy did. Russian UFOs? Get.
inside the Skylab in zero gravity, the astronauts go through the
Skylab!
day and night with their every minute carefully scheduled.
Yeah, waste of money, you fucking leeches. Go back to Earth. Stop wasting my money.
Scientific experiments are in almost every instance planned.
Welfare queens.
Not to
Welfare queens in fucking space.
open new areas of the unknown in cosmic science, but to reinforce the ideas we already hold regarding the reality of the universe. Planners have left no time or leeway in which the UFO can be postulated, thought about, or examined. Certainly, few startling public announcements have been made of any new discoveries during space missions. No new theories have been advanced. Astronaut Jack Lausma in Skylab 3 saw a glowing red object.
Michael Lambert is a UFO? I knew it.
Making its way across the field of his vision. He photographed it from his little planetoid
Guys,
in space.
put your hands together for Popcorn Willie, guys.
Ice Wallow come.
Thank you.
The NASA Skylab.
Space Yonkers, that's right, Skeleton Man.
It could have been explained as a meteor glowing red in space, except that there is no atmosphere in space whose friction could heat a meteor to a red glow. Was it a UFO?
Well, what I always heard was that the gray aliens aren't even really gray. It's a spacesuit they're wearing. But it fits like skin, and underneath they're green like lizards.
Observing Skylab. NASA remains silent.
NASA never says anything cool.
Complex instrument.
I always like when NASA makes a big announcement and it's like, and everyone gets excited, like, oh, what is it going to be? What is it going to be? And it's like, hey, we found these rocks. Oh, thanks, NASA.
Such as
Thanks.
Explorer 10.
I think they
vanished
do
in
that
space.
shit on purpose.
Launched on the 25th of March, 1961, it disappeared, although its life expectancy was over 100 years. Perhaps some alien intelligence is examining this complex NASA space device. NORAD cannot find it, and it is not transmitting. It just disappeared.
Don't ever bring up that pussy.
What is the photographic evidence that UFOs are watching our every space move? Why is it so hard for the project managers of NASA to accept the reality
They're
of
not
the UFO?
really up in space.
Is there a high-level
Idiot.
scientific cover-up? And if so, why?
Look, guys, we're in space.
Governments are
Whoa.
charged with upholding the law.
Space ain't even real.
And no law on Earth is more
Thank you.
basic than the law of gravity.
Thanks for
No wonder
nothing,
the
space
obvious
jerks.
anti-gravity capability of the UFO makes governments uncomfortable. Bravely, some astronauts have stated that they believe in the reality of the UFO and the capability of the UFO to defy gravity while our giant rockets consume enormous amounts of fuel, putting a simple space capsule or Skylab in orbit. In the dark blue of space, in silence orbiting
Dark blue of space. What?
the Earth, the Skylab is the planetoid home of its crew. The crew is like the NASA test pilots in the X-15, busily occupied and concerned with the scientific work outlined for them by their NASA masters.
It's always douchey when you see, like, when they film the astronauts, because it's like they're trying so hard to do space things. It's like, okay, dude, do the water bubble, or do the balls of water trick again. Yeah. Slurp up the water ball. Every time you see a stupid douchebag astronaut, it's some idiot slurping up a water ball.
Support in Earth orbit is a scientific
Look,
victory in
space!
itself, and a major achievement for Earthlings. But outside alien intelligences are again observing the progress of man from Earth. 2 UFOs are photographed by an astronaut during a spacewalk. The hatch is
There it
open.
is.
The astronaut is working his problem. Again, 2 UFOs flit by. Just moving lights, something that could be easily ignored unless we obtain other pictures
Yes, it's space projects.
and other explanations. Actual pictures which could identify the UFO
Could be anything.
as a solid object
Like someone was saying, that could be Space Coom.
with a mission and under intelligent control.
I don't think Kubrick had anything to do with it.
One of the most remarkable instances of UFO photography took place in 1968, here above the Boeing Space Laboratory, south of Renton, Washington. Several photographs were taken of a UFO by then 14-year-old Scott Silty. It showed its anti-gravity capabilities as it hovered over the center in 2 locations.
I hate it when people say that. We could be traveling the stars right now. Shut up. Even if we were, you wouldn't. You wouldn't be.
His efforts
We could be
produced
traveling the
probably
stars.
the only detailed shots of a UFO materializing
You know, back in my day, that'd get you a fucking wedgie. An atomic wedgie.
to
Thank
show
you.
configuration and portholes. His junior high school instructor, Jim Holm, was given the negatives to develop. Holm said he didn't know what to expect, but became a believer
when he saw what the young Silty had apparently captured on film.
Michael Lambert took all the fucking urinal cakes?
Hey, we got the pictures we were talking about. Naturally, you know, junior high students, you're a little bit reluctant to believe everything they say. But then, you know, as things proceeded, what happened was...
That's another good one. We're all made out of stardust.
I developed the pictures, and we know
so
the results
corny.
now.
What is
This is
your
what Star Trek ruined people's brains.
impression of what that object is?
I'm always hesitant, but I would have to say that believing the students and the type of students they were,
No.
it almost definitely had to be some type of a flying object.
Right out there.
Right. And it's a little eerie. The thing that shook me up at first is I was reluctant to believe them.
Oh, aliens.
And when I printed or developed the film, I really
Cheeto
couldn't see
dust.
that much. But I was shocked. I have to admit, I was shocked when I put it in the enlarger. And through the enlarger, I could
Yeah,
see
that's one of those cornball sayings.
a great deal more of what the object looked like.
Like the portholes.
Right. That was, I would say, the portholes was the most shocking part, because then it looked different than just a glow in the sky in a certain form. Like you always hear the thing, you know, swamp gas and that sort of thing. But no swamp gas is going to have portholes or a configuration geometric the way that was.
One man who has spent the last 25 years
Here we go,
researching
guys.
and
Finally,
keeping track
some hard-hitting
of
truths.
UFO sightings in the United States is Seattle fireman Robert Gribble. He has spent his spare time gathering all data possible that will help him keep track of when and where they take place. The
gotta
pins
stop
on
farting
this
out of your
map
dick.
indicate sightings in the U.S. for just 1 year. Over the past quarter century, he has come to some conclusions.
Well, like those people that say that shit, we'd be traveling the stars. Like, they wouldn't be going anywhere. You'd be stuck here, Dick, with the rest of us. You're not going anywhere.
Sightings he has recorded.
We have received.
I could have my own ship and crew and have adventures in the galaxy.
Recorded some
No,
30,000
you'd be sitting there playing your PS Triple.
Have you noticed any particular patterns that develop in pinpointing the UFO sightings on these maps?
No, we have found no marked pattern, although we do believe that they are following two procedures. One, a surveillance of the land areas, a very close surveillance, and a close surveillance of the people, and it seems to fluctuate from one to the other.
Yeah, they don't make loud
Now,
bangs.
Through all these years of research, you must have drawn some conclusions about what they are, what the UFOs are.
Well, we firmly believe that what the people are seeing in those
I'm a
objects
silly catfish. If Silly Catfish was running for office, I'd vote for
we
him.
have classified as unknown are actually vehicles not manufactured on this planet.
How can you draw that conclusion? How do you know?
Well, the vehicles have been seen in the United States, and there are good records of this for the last 200 years, and actually...
That's like when people make fun of people from like the 50s because they're so backwards and we have smartphones now. like that kind of corny shit. Yeah, they were idiots. They can't look at HD asshole pictures on their phone like I can.
The history for some 3,000 years, the same thing that we're seeing...
I need my HD asshole pictures.
We understand that there are several hot spots in the United States, UFO sighting areas, and one of them happens to be in the southwestern United States in Utah.
There have been a tremendous amount of sightings in the southwest over the years, with a very large concentration in the Utah area.
That's right. Every wrinkle proudly displayed on the screen.
The Canadian UFO Report was one of the initial UFO publications to headline the story of the possibility that much of the early Mormon history tells of a contact with an alien intelligence.
That's right, polyamory and state-mandated child grooming. Exactly.
It opens the possibility that the founder of Mormonism, their prophet Joseph Smith, may have been one of the greatest of UFO contact
60 ass frames. Who's that guy?
Dr. Frank D. Salisbury, on the faculty of the State University of Utah in Logan, and himself a Mormon, does not doubt that possibility. He has stated publicly that he believes that his UFO study has established the probability
Well, that's
that
real
the
as it
Earth is
gets.
being visited by UFOs.
You see, UFOs are obviously real. See that Matchbox card there? And I made these two UFOs. That's what it looked like. Sincerely.
Seem to be using the isolated area of eastern Utah as an Earth base. In March of 1975, a national tabloid newspaper circulated the following story of a UFO kidnapping.
Yes, tabloids. UFO pilot held me prisoner.
The producers of the motion picture interviewed Carl Higdon, who furnished the artist's conception of the android crewman from the UFO who kidnapped him and took him aboard the UFO
Definitely
to
aliens.
elsewhere. Higdon was given a physical examination in a tower by a huge TV-like eye, rejected, and was returned to the elk hunting area in Wyoming, where he was picked up. While on his
Well, what does that drawing have to do with anything? that doesn't describe anything in that guy's story.
8-hour UFO trip, he encountered a teenage boy, two
Yeah,
young
you got corona, guys.
girls, and a man in his 60s, also guests of the UFO intelligences. Upon his return, he suffered radiation symptoms with itching skin and burning eyes.
Oh, no.
Area Sheriff Ogburn and his deputy Ed Tierney investigated the incident.
Put down the gun, little feller. I'm just here to inspect your prostate. There's no time for fussing and feuding. Now, please, grab your ankles.
So did Dr. Leo Sprinkle of the University of Wyoming.
Oh, yeah, Leo Sprinkle. Bad motherfucker.
Who gives us this professional opinion as to the truth of this verified UFO kidnapping.
To whom it may concern, my impression of Carl Higdon is that he's a man of integrity with average education.
Spanel?
But
Spanel.
a keen sense of curiosity about the world around him. He's an outdoors man and seems to have developed good skills of estimating size and distance. Although the sighting of a single UFO witness often is difficult to evaluate, the indirect evidence supports the tentative
I don't think we'll ever get off this fucking planet. I think we're stuck.
conclusion.
I think we're stuck. I could be
Carl
wrong.
Higdon is reporting
But hey,
sincerely
we'll be all dead by the time I'm proven wrong.
the events that he experienced. Hopefully, further statements from other persons can be obtained to support the basic statement. Respectfully submitted by R. Leo Sprinkle, Ph.D.
Hey, listen, our Leo Sprinkle. It wasn't that respectful, okay? You got a little snippy.
The University
Just
of
saying.
Wyoming in Laramie.
I wanted to call him REO Speedwagon.
UFO traffic in the Rocky Mountain area of Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico reached a high level in the November, December, and January period of
We're all saying that.
1975 and 76, with police departments reporting large cigar-shaped UFOs and other UFO types of spacecraft hovering for days at a time
No, exactly.
over cities in this area.
We can't even go that deep underwater.
5 witnesses working in the open country around Snowflake and Holbrook in northeast Arizona had the most incredible personal UFO experience story to tell and passed lie detector tests in their telling of it before police and psychiatrist witnesses. 22-year-old Travis Walton suddenly
It's a dangerous dude right there.
disappeared one morning as the group was working in the open country. Dwayne Smith, Kenneth Peterson, Alan Dalis,
Arleo
Mike Rogers, and John Golette were involved in the significant UFO kidnapping incident in which a greenish-blue light originating from a UFO overhead zapped Travis Walton into an invisible dimension from...
This guy again. You know what? You know what happened when the green lights turned on? Wait. When the green lights turn on, just picture him. It goes, lights are on, and then
Rockin' fucking roll!
Put me down! Put me down!
which he returned 5 days later. His brother tells of the incident.
He spent 5 days on a UFO.
Sure he
thing.
did.
Now, there is some small time loss in there. But for all intent and purposes, he spent 5 days on there. He did come in contact with some beings.
He was messing it up.
They weren't human. And he had quite an experience. He said he doesn't remember anything about a blue light in the first encounter last Wednesday. The blue light that they saw, he said, at that instant, felt like he got hit in the forehead with a baseball bat, and it knocked him out. and he woke up. He was aboard one of the craft. And
I think he got drunk at a bar and someone bitch slapped him so hard. He thought he was in a UFO for a few days.
they never spoke to him. They led him around by the hand. They wouldn't talk to him. They showed him this and that. And when they let him off, he woke up.
Did he say they were friendly creatures?
Smiled all the time, friendly, never harmed him. They were just as nice as they could be. But there was a total lack of communication, either verbal or mental.
And he said that's what made him so upset, that he couldn't speak with them.
That's what he was very, very disgusted about that, nervous and just plain disgust, the chance of a lifetime, and they wouldn't cooperate.
Bastards.
Obviously, Dwayne, you know your own brother probably better than anybody else. Do you believe the story?
I've never seen him play a practical joke in his adult life.
A psychiatrist tells examination of Travis.
Our conclusion, which is absolute.
But like that guy's like there was like he's so genuine when he tells his alien abduction story, but it's like any asshole could lie to your fucking face. You know, you don't have to be that intelligent to lie to someone's face.
Is that this young man is not lying. There's no collusion involved, no attempted hoax or collusion with the family or anyone else. There's a rumor around that there's contracts. There are no such contracts. No motivation for a lie.
No motivation. Yeah, selling books. Selling books that eventually turned into a movie. No motivation. Why would he lie, guys?
Ability of lying or hoax as you see it.
None whatsoever.
As we have indicated, UFOs can create a tremendous spatial energy flow. One of the most startling examples of that occurred several years ago on Vashon Island, which is located in the Pacific Northwest in Puget Sound, not far from Seattle, Washington. It was near the tiny...
Bet you that Travis guy even has a stupid face on a t-shirt. You know you made it when you got your face on a t-shirt.
Several UFO sightings had taken place in the late 1960s. So the fact that local residents had seen such phenomena was not startling. But the fact surrounding one of the incidents was unusual, to say the least.
So it was out in that
Still
area?
women's shoes.
On the night of the 19th of February, 1968, Detective Lieutenant Terry Allman was dispatched to an old gravel pit area west of town. Some young people had seen a UFO, and the King County Sheriff's Office was sent to investigate.
Two cool dudes.
The temperature was 50 degrees. Allman tells of what he saw.
Well, there was a lot of ice. It really had no...
First of all, never trust a motherfucker in a turtleneck. I said it. Never trust a dude in a turtleneck.
reason to actually be there.
Turtleneck people are weird. They're like bird people.
It wasn't that cold out.
And did it have a certain consistency or something unusual about it?
Well, it was 1.5 inches thick and was rather milky and bubble.
Mm-hmm. And what was the impression that you had, or why did you have the impression that it was some strange phenomenon that created this?
Well, I can't be sure about that, except it was entirely too warm out to have ice like that. One of the other officers had responded to a UFO call at that same location the night before.
The UFO energy flow had apparently left a solid sheet of ice as it supercooled the area below the UFO as it took off.
Maybe the ice came from that dude's turtleneck.
Temperature of 32 degrees, it would take some 113 hours to freeze the pond 50 feet in diameter with a sheet of ice 2 inches thick. And
That's a very good question.
Had not been that cold. The UFO did it. Because of official concealment, Niles, and just plain ordinary bureaucratic cover-up during the 1950s and 60s.
I mean, you'd look less fruity in a scarf. I mean, you still gotta look fruity in a scarf, but less fruity than turtlenecks.
Many cases of UFOs establishing themselves as a menace to commercial airlines' safety of
what the hell?
Flight had been concealed. One night, 10 of 85 passengers aboard an American Airlines commercial flight were injured when their pilot, Captain Ed Bachner, took evasive action to avoid a UFO encounter. Number 966 on the night of 17 July 1957 on a flight from El Paso to Dallas, just 50 miles east of El Paso,
really happened, guys.
over Salt Flats, Texas. The UFO continued along the
turtleneck community is enraged.
To Gulfport,
now I'm gonna get angry letters from the turtleneck community and the people who like birds.
Where it turned north.
No, I have a bird, and I have birds all my life. You know, I'm not weird, okay? I'm not weird. Yeah, I know you might think that.
Traffic control
Well, I
radar
love my
tracked the
birds.
UFO, and the military was alerted. In the vicinity of Meridian, Mississippi, the Wing Intelligence RB-47 electronic surveillance airplane tuned in the UFO's emission on its ALA-5 pulse analyzer. As it moved west toward Dallas, Texas, the pulse train of the UFO was
Red peppers are gross, dude. That first bite is good, and then you get that aftertaste.
analyzed as having a 3,000 megacycle envelope, a duration
Megacycle?
of 2 millionths of a second, and a repetition rate of 600 times a second. This was identifiable electromagnetic emission from a UFO, which was also being tracked by military and Federal Aviation Agency radar. The UFO circled Dallas and Fort Worth, Texas, and headed north to Oklahoma City.
Why would you go there?
Continued its track north, followed by the Wing Intelligence electronic
Taking the
surveillance
Steers and Queers
aircraft.
tour.
This was continued until the U.S. Air Force plane was to run low on
right.
fuel near Forbes Air Force Base.
At 1:45 on the morning
Green peppers, good. Red peppers, not so good.
of April 3rd, 1975, some 20 or more law enforcement officers in 5 North Carolina counties pursued a bright, glowing, unidentified alien spacecraft.
Oh, shit.
Newspaper headlines told of a major
Where's the
incident
proof?
which
This is
was,
light on
in
proof,
effect,
guys.
kept secret from the rest of the nation. Newspapers, radio, and
Look
television
at that.
all over the world remained silent on the stories because wire service editors
Don't you think shit like that was just the stealth? Like people test driving the stealth? I mean, that's what it looks like to me. Back in the 70s, there was a lot of triangle
did
UFOs.
nothing to emphasize their significance.
Serial community.
From police descriptions, the artist has been able to draw the lighted V-shaped UFO which appeared.
'Cause they had prototypes of the stealth in the 70s.
No responsible agency gave to the public any scientifically supported explanation
wouldn't be that
of the
close to the
origin
ground.
or mission of the alien space travel device.
It was almost like the cornbread clash of 2017. We'll never forget that one.
The story was much the same 2.5 years earlier in Pascagoula, Mississippi.
Pascagoula. Name just rolls off the tongue.
The Pascagoula Press first headlined the story October 12, 1973, and told the nation about 2 shipyard workers, Calvin Parker and Charles Hickson.
Not shady at all. 2 cool, reliable dudes.
Who had their fishing trip interrupted by a glowing, blue-lighted UFO which landed near them.
It was a very dark time, Jack.
2 humanoids took them aboard for a physical examination, placing them under a large TV-like eye.
Man, that's cool. I want one of those helmets. You know, how can I make the most inconvenient helmet ever? I know. Put 3 spikes on it. Bump it in my head and everything. And I love it. That helmet makes no sense. That is a stupid idea. Therefore, I believe it's fake. If they're so smart, they got spaceships. They're not going to be running around with a helmet with 3 spikes on it.
Scientists were quoted as saying that the UFO report was true. NASA
I'm
was
with Evil Betty.
supposed to probe, but didn't. Federal agencies were asked to investigate, but didn't. Hickson said the creatures from the UFO seemed friendly,
They had a dreadful experience. They really watched last Monday's stream.
but that they acted controlled, as if they had a specific thing to do, and did it.
Incident is retracted week
They were
after
about
happening.
5 feet high, pale and ghost-like, with crab-like hands and rounded feet. As Hickson and Parker were
You stole that out of a comic book.
taken aboard, they suddenly began to float on air.
I just picture them bumping those spikes into everything, like spinning the helmet around so they're looking out the back of the helmet and they're blind. This helmet sucks. And of course, the other guy slaps the spike and it spins around and someone goes whoop, 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 whoop. It makes no sense.
Helpless.
Looks dank.
In the Gulf South, from Louisiana to Florida, hundreds of reports to police and sightings by police officers told of UFO activity that same night. No government agency concerned itself with this UFO kidnapping publicly.
Time to get your butthole checked, bitch.
Luckily, Hickson and Parker were returned. But what
I
of the
wanna look at her
kidnapped
butthole,
victims
too.
of the UFO intelligences who are not returned? Are the UFOs friend or foe? Or are they conducting...
Dude, anyone who looks at your butthole without your consent is a foe. Hey, I didn't say you could look at my butthole.
a project in which humans
Space
become
Roger.
nothing more than guinea pigs?
Let me see your minge. They use the word minge in space? Ew. Yes, we are the mingings.
This is serious speculation. Kidnapped victims
Worst word
seem
ever.
to end up on a missing persons list, and no agency on Earth
Skeleton
can
Man, you might be from outer space, dude.
locate them.
You might be from outer space.
The
I'm just
alien
saying.
intelligences of the UFO are from somewhere, either in our dimension or from another dimension, which is difficult for anyone to detect.
The fifth density.
Misunderstanding the complete dominance of man by the UFO intelligences led the city fathers of Ocean Springs on the Gulf Coast to seriously
Hey, it didn't have a lot of proof, but had a lot of fun drawings.
decide to solve the problem by passing a law prohibiting the landing of UFOs in that area. Alderman William F. Dale, Jr. thought the local police should be able to handle it. It
Just the
almost
worst
became a
word
law.
ever.
But the mayor of Ocean Springs, Tom Stennis, broke the tie vote. He said, let's
you guys
make
said
them
nothing.
welcome. As yet, no world governmental agency has demonstrated the power either to make UFOs welcome or to combat their
Welcome.
landings and possible kidnapping. It's obvious that humans are helpless.
Space Voyage from Ummo!
In 1966, a very competent scientific analyst of the British publication
Yeah, what's her name then? You can't just say a very smart, competent scientist. You got to give names.
Flying Saucer Review have been assembling all
No
available
names.
information about alien intelligences who have made repeated UFO landings in the high Pyrenees Mountains between France and Spain. So have the defense authorities of both nations. The UMO intelligences claim they come from what we know as Star System Wolf 424.
What the hell? What the hell are these guys talking about?
Some 14.6 light years from Earth. 90 trillion miles.
Where'd you get this from?
Near their home planet, their UFO space travel device enters a black hole in space.
Whoa.
A giant energy whirlpool
You know what, Latex? You're not punishing me, bro. You're punishing yourself.
vortex, which hurls their spacecraft into another dimension in which time hardly exists.
Whoa.
From this, they emerge into our dimension, into our solar system, and proceed to their expeditionary target, Earth.
Alpha's very dirty. Alpha needed a stern talking to.
Later, the UMOs were to tell the European investigators that the universe was at least a 10-dimension unity. Perhaps even more, they were not certain. But they knew of and used
happens,
at least
Latex.
10
What can you do?
dimensions of reality.
Hey, we have no proof, so we'll show you this like kaleidoscope shit.
Each
That makes
reality
up
was
for it.
separate from each of the others. Each of the 10 realities had its own rules of energy manipulation. Even though there were 10 dimensions which were open to space travel, reckless energy misuse in one dimension can disturb the cosmic unity of another dimension and its inhabitants.
I could picture someone laughing while writing this down. It could disturb the cosmic unity. Whatever, right? These people will buy everything.
Telepathy is used to receive knowledge during space travel.
What?
The mind, said the UMOs in the quiet areas of space, is especially open to pure cosmic knowledge received by telepathy. Any mentality can
Such
receive
horseshit.
and benefit from knowledge received by telepathy.
It's all about love, guys.
The more telepathic ability is exercised, the more valuable it becomes, the UMOs learned, as they learned many of the high scientific secrets of the solar systems they traveled through.
Cool,
in
tell
their
us some
space
secrets.
Exploration projects. Target Earth was to be another of their cosmic projects. The UMOs first learned of the planet Earth.
I can't. I'm shaking all over the place, and it doesn't
with
help.
Inhabitants of some intelligence in the Earth year 1950.
Michael J. Fox has raised his vibrations.
Landed and left 8 of their males and females in the area which had high mountains between France and
It always
Spain.
is hippie. It's hippie New Age nonsense every time.
Since that time, they have studied the new planet and the method of mental understanding used by its inhabitants. They found Earth science could not account for cosmic beings like themselves.
Can't vibrate
they have
enough.
carefully made themselves known to certain people of France and Spain, about 30 in all. They have tried to understand the limitations which exist in the
They're
mind of
hypnotizing
man.
us, Evil Betty.
They find human knowledge inadequate and much inferior to the cosmic understanding. Which
Oh, okay. What's the cosmic understanding? I'm ready for some sweet, creamy, tasty bullshit.
Space voyages between the UMO position in the universe and the Earth.
Whoa!
At
That's right,
800,000
Shades.
miles, Jupiter looks to the Earth-developed eye like this. To the UMO, perhaps different. Jupiter's moon, Ganymede,
How come we never heard anything about the UMO after this documentary, huh?
is some 8,000 miles away and moves in its orbit. Its diameter, 3,000 miles. The UMO intelligences took a heat measurement of the Jupiter hotspot. They compared the measurements to that of the surface of their sun and found it about the same. The
That
other
don't sound
Jupiter
right.
moons were identified: Europa, Amalthea, Callisto, as they were named by Earth astronomers.
Whoa, space!
The spacecraft continued to the next solar system checkpoint, also at the same
That's pretty deep, Mr. Bones. I
time
never thought of it
slowing
like
its
that.
rate of travel. Saturn was identified with its strange moon, Titan. Titan rolled along the equatorial plane of Saturn like a wheel on a road. The UMOs identified its atmosphere, methane. In the vicinity
See,
of Saturn,
since they're speaking for aliens right now, they could just make up anything.
they tuned to the history and the totality of knowledge of the solar system,
Totality of knowledge, guys.
accumulated since the
I
time
can
the
picture
sun
some
was
idiot in a lobster bib, like, with beefaroni all over their face, like, nodding, like, yeah, that's definitely how it is.
born. Knowledge lost, and knowledge still used, and knowledge to be rediscovered. It was from this Saturn knowledge store that the UMO intelligences learned of humankind's achievements and failures. They learned, too, of the state of development of the plant and animal life and all details of Earth and the other planets.
Does the UMO like cornbread? That's the real question.
They continued their journey past Saturn, its bright rings shining a dark space blue in the Titan sky.
Ooh, space blue. The spaciest of blue. All right. I had a problem there. I was getting choppy. We're good, right?
On Earth.
All right. The internet's been real flaky the last couple days. I don't know why. Look at that.
Leaving Mars, they passed scarcely 100 miles from Phobos, one of its 2 moons. 4,000 miles above the red storm-swept planet, Phobos is a dark clump.
Phobos?
Only 16 miles.
Yeah, come on,
away.
YouTube. I'm almost done, dude. I'm almost done. Let me go. Let me finish this. Space Rock! I bet Space Rock has some sweet solos. That is true, Craig. They don't want us to know about the Elmo.
The final checkpoint of the cosmic voyage brought a strange and beautiful sight.
Look at that.
Their project destination.
That's such like a cheesy 70s record cover.
Was eclipsing its own sun, and they passed over the Earth's moon just beneath. They had come nearly 90 trillion miles, 14.6 light years.
I mean, maybe.
Last Earth time,
kind of.
Just about 7 months.
Man, I could bang on a synthesizer and make up this cheesy shit.
Synchronize the UMO UFO's space travel time with the time of the expedition's target, Earth.
Dennis Ramsey is an UMO.
By telepathic means, the
You just got to find his 3-pointed helmet.
Alien intelligences claim to have notified some 20 selected Earth people of various responsible backgrounds.
I'm starting to think this movie was just for people to do acid and watch. You know what I mean?
The UMO UFO.
Do acid and watch this
live
crap.
in Spain.
Dang, James.
The British Flying Saucer Review.
Lomulus. I forgot
headlined an
about that.
attempt by-
We never heard about Lomulus again ever. We never heard of the UMO ever again or Lomulus.
To intercept the UMO UFO. An Andorra radio station employee also noticed the UFO as it neared its destination in the Pyrenees Mountains between France and Spain. The UMO spacecraft, after its cosmic
Stop with
voyage,
the UMO. No one
became
believes it.
visible over the Pyrenees Mountains.
Look at
And
that.
the
That's real.
IH superimposed marking, unlike any alphabetical symbol
Great.
on Earth,
It's like it sucks the toilet straight, or sucks the shit right out of your ass, dude. It sucks the turds right out of your dick, believe it or not.
was photographed. The first pictures taken were from the ground near the outskirts of Madrid on February 6, 1966, and again on the 10th of June, 1967.
It's so cheesy.
They are known as the San Jose de Valderas photographs, which were published
Come on, dude.
nationally in
That's
Spain
bread.
after
That's bread in a bread pan.
thorough investigation by the national magazine
So
Horizonte.
dumb. It's an Altoid. That's a bowl. That's a fucking bowl,
During
dude.
the years since 1966, much of the UMO information has been investigated by competent people of England, France, and Spain.
Rich Corinthian leather.
And to this date, such evidence as
Sign me
these
up.
UFO photographs appears to be factual. Dr. Claude Poer, Director of Scientific Programs in the French Center for Spatial Studies, stated publicly that a 2-year investigation resulted in staggering confirmation of statements made by the non-earthly intelligences.
A banquet Popeye.
The French Minister of Defense, Jean-Claude Boré, in a nationwide radio broadcast...
Yes, in Spain they have a holiday where they throw pot pies in the air, and whoever's the first one to catch it can eat it.
confirmed that the national police in France had a great number of statements on file from reliable witnesses who had reported over the last few years UFO appearances. He said he believed the reports tell of scientifically interesting events and that the top scientists of France were making a continuing study of reported UFO sightings.
Look at that. I don't know what that is.
From those files comes this photograph of a UFO taken
focus?
at night as it was tracked across France. This is known as the Valençol UFO. The device is emitting brilliantly colored radiation and
That's
seems
so
solid.
fake. It's funny. You never see the pictures again. I've never seen any of these pictures
So,
before.
it is obviously capable of defying gravity.
It's hot dog
The French defense minister says that this type of appearance is being studied seriously by French science. Not so in the United States, where even the anti-gravity capability of the UFO is being ignored by official science.
All right, enough. It's a fucking synthesizer.
As they said in
You know that
Spain,
girl who played Tomb Raider in the beginning? That's the one who did the the soundtrack.
the alien
How
intelligences
Captain
of the
Close sticks.
UFO may originate from a planet called Umo, 16 light years from Earth.
Should have put a twig
and
in the
they may
background.
not have.
They weren't as slick
If
as
we
the
are
other
to
guys, though.
understand the origin of the UFO, we must be ready to vision another dimension which penetrates our earthly reality. It is a higher
pictures are the
energy
best.
dimension from which the UFO can materialize to our vision, our cameras, and our scientific instrumentation. It is back into this higher energy dimension that the UFO returns to report to those who sent it out.
All right, enough about this fake made-up
The
shit,
crew of
guys.
The UFO
That's
is an
stupid thing.
especially designed robot humanoid which was produced to do its job in both dimensions.
Wyoming oil man, what was that? Let's see that.
Humanoid which was produced to do its job.
Wyoming oil man tells the star of his amazing 8-hour space trip ordeal. Guys, don't you think maybe these people just want a little attention? Never believe anyone from Wyoming.
In both dimensions.
Never believe anyone in Wyoming who wants attention, because people go to Wyoming to get away from attention.
Target Earth is a long-time intelligence and sample gathering project of the aliens of the UFO. The incredible energy manipulation
Mr.
which
Bones.
enables UFOs to move between dimensions seems to occur underwater. The Puerto Rican Deep, which extends 30,000 feet under the sea,
Manny's
is
been down there.
one such area.
It was Clint.
Water covers 2/3 of the surface of the Earth, and in that water lives one of the Earth's most intelligent and environmentally adjusted creatures, the dolphin.
Oh.
The dolphin's brain is substantially more complex and in some ways superior to the brain of man.
People have always said that. All the dolphins are so smart. They don't do anything. When's the last time you seen a dolphin do anything smart?
The dolphin's telepathic ability is highly developed.
Let's see a dolphin speed run Super Mario Brothers 3. Then I'll be convinced.
That he excels at communication
While wearing a dress, because that's how you're supposed to do it.
Today, the Canadian-edited UFO report and other such
Hey, it's a UFO
publications
report.
are the only other mediums which have carried stories which have filled the Venezuelan newspapers and tell of UFOs which emerge
that.
from under the sea off Puerto Rico and continue to the U.S., South America, and Europe. Undersea disturbances of a major nature have
Dolphins are prolific rapists. They're sea hoggers.
occurred in this area for many years.
They're
The
hoggers
National
of the sea.
Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's NOAA satellite had communications blacked out many times as it passed over the area.
You don't know that.
Some 800 miles up in its orbit, reported Dr. Wayne Messigian of Longwood College in Farmville, Virginia. In 1945, the U.S. Navy lost 5 torpedo bombers
Nice
and a
one,
large
idiots.
4-motored flying boat searching for the lost Navy pilots. Commercial and private airplane pilots have seen their aircraft under this strange influence.
Yep. Beat Ghosts and Goblins. That ain't easy. Or fucking Ninja Gaiden.
Lose
Beat one of those,
instrumentation
and then I'll be
and
convinced.
electrical control. Airlines issue denials, and pilots are afraid to talk in public because of fear for their job.
That is true. That is true. You can't see. They don't have fingers to look at 4K
In March
anuses.
of 1973, a series of events near Caracas, Venezuela, a few hundred miles to the south, established what may be a link between the very deep ocean areas of the Caribbean and the UFO. On March 22nd, hundreds of people witnessed a pair of flying objects trailing blue smoke as they approached from out of the sea and then hung motionless near the Caracas airport.
Raping
Then
and
with
killing. What an adventure.
a shrieking sound and a burst of orange flame separated and vanished, one to the east and one to the west. For the next 9 rose out of the sea, hung in the air, remained motionless, and in various manners cavorted over the metropolitan city of Caracas, Venezuela. The Caracas newspaper, Ultimas Noticias, carried the UFO stories and reached the conclusion that thousands of its readers are now convinced that by evidence of their own eyes, UFOs have an undersea base in the Caribbean.
Have an undersea base.
UFO traffic into and out of the sea was seen by hundreds of witnesses. Other water areas
Let's go to
have
the
also
undersea
been
base.
the site of UFO traffic.
Man, what a fancy place.
Teleportation occurs in the vicinity of a UFO. In May 1968, a well-known Buenos Aires attorney, Dr. Gerardo Vidal, and his wife and children, in a Peugeot 403,
See, always in Mexico City. There's always UFOs over there.
teleported 4,100 miles by a UFO.
Yeah, it's been bad all week. I don't know what it is.
And put down near Mexico City unharmed. This Ford was teleported hundreds of miles in South Africa because it was near to a UFO which degravitated it and transported it, says the Flying Saucer Review.
I want to keep an eye on it.
The aliens of the UFO are energy manipulators of a very advanced nature.
Come on, Susan. I only got a little bit left, okay? Don't fuck
Far
with me.
beyond our science. In the search for the method of communication with alien intelligences of space, such as the overlords of the UFO,
Only on Monday it
some of the
does
most
this.
significant work in the world has been done by Dr. L.G. Lawrence, president of the Ecola Institute of
Who
San
knows?
Bernardino,
It
California.
could be this thing. They
a
always
research
fuck with the
foundation.
settings.
Dr. Lawrence is one of the world authorities on the use of biological sensors, such as that of the friendly laboratory philodendron, which senses the pain of Dr. Lawrence. As he purposely burns his thumb on his hot
I think
pipe
that's what it
bowl,
is.
the biological sensor, the plant, reacts with a squiggle of recognition of Dr.
Who doesn't like
Lawrence's
fajitas?
pain on the laboratory instrumentation. This is known as the Baxter effect. Dr. Lawrence developed his 3-ton stellatron for sensing
A
biological
skeletron?
messages which might be running
Sounds like
free in the
a
universe.
dank 80s movie.
He sets it up in remote areas, and it is shielded from all electromagnetic radiation, such
Yeah.
as all radio
Never
and
have problems on Friday.
TV
Monday every
radiation,
time.
For instance. It can be influenced only by the etheric or bioplasmic pulses that influence plant and animal life. On October 29, 1971, and again in April 1972, on the Mojave Desert in California, intelligent communication from the direction of Ursa Major was received.
Oh, come on. That would be life-changing news if that was really true.
One star of that system we know is the North Star.
Whoa! Whoa! Space! Smell drop.
The intelligent character of the overall pulse train is implied by the discrete spacing patterns and the repetition of recognizable patterns.
Sir, I think you're telling fiblets.
Again, for the
I'm
first
detecting
time in
fiblets.
public, you now hear the modulated signals, a message as yet undeciphered, which originate in outer space. This has been brought to you by special permission of Dr. Lawrence.
In space, it's just John Tesh albums over and over again. Signals.
It is a scientific
John Space is all. Or John Tesh is all over the cosmos.
Dr. Lawrence reminds us that
Space
radio
cool.
telescopes, such as this giant multi-million-dollar installation in Puerto Rico, have had no results whatsoever in either sending or receiving messages in space. Radio telescopes seem useless.
That place just fell apart. That place just exploded like, what, 2 weeks ago?
In receiving cosmic messages, probably because they are looking and listening to the wrong possible sources. He recommends biological sensors.
Literally
instead.
just fell apart.
His low-cost equipment has resulted in a tape recording of interstellar communication, and it is on file with the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C.
The top fell into the bottom. This thing's a wreck.
There was perhaps no
And you know why? They wouldn't change, like, they just needed to replace some cables. That's all it was. But no one would replace the fucking cable, so the thing just snapped. They just watched as the cable snap and didn't fix it. All they had to do, which is just normal maintenance, is check on the cables.
And the world famous
People are like, hey, that thing's going to fall apart for months and months. And they're like, yeah, well, we can't do anything about it.
psychic Uri Geller, whose mind-boggling extrasensory powers have baffled millions.
All right. I think we're good, guys. I think we're good.
Extraterrestrial being in my life. I wish I will. And I know I will one day. You know, maybe they're even around us and we don't even know. Maybe they look like people. But I have seen UFOs.
Very similar to Bruce Jenner and Uri Geller.
UFO here, some of you will raise your hands up because they exist. I took
The money for the cable has to go to Israel.
As a matter of fact, I had a fight with my publisher because I wanted to publish the picture of the UFOs that I took in the book, and he said no because it cannot be. It will be against your credibility. And I did it in the end because I'm not going to back away from the truth.
Oh, he's proven a fraud multiple times.
I once seen. 1 minute. I once drove in the Sinai Desert. Do we have another minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
I once drove in the Sinai Desert, and believe
Very effeminate little guy, huh?
me, with a high colonel and his driver, me and a doctor. And suddenly, in midair, in Sinai Desert, it's clear, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon, we saw this huge object that looked like a cigar shape hanging in midair. And let me tell you, it was as big as 3 New York blocks. And it was dark. It didn't look like a flying saucer. It looked like a cigar
Well, that
shape.
proves everything.
I was shocked.
That blown out piece of paper.
And immediately, I get goosebumps when I talk about it. I told the driver, please, look what, and the colonel. And you know what? They didn't see it. And they said, what are you looking at? I said, my God, can't you see that thing in the sky? They couldn't.
All right, so you could do all these magic mind tricks, and you also see UFOs all the time? Sure, buddy.
See. So I
Well, he was just a fucking fraud, too.
Is it really implanted in my mind? Is it really not out there and only, or is it there and only the people who believe in it can
People
see?
listen to this crap.
No, there are questions that I can't answer myself.
Some call him a magician.
No one called him a magician.
Call him a sorcerer.
Have you ever heard anybody in your whole life seriously call someone a sorcerer? I've never heard it.
Even call him a messiah.
Oh,
But whatever they call him, the world has never seen anyone quite like Uri Geller.
See those broads, they eat that crazy stuff up.
So when Geller
I don't know
recently
why.
toured the United States, it was no wonder the crowds turned out to greet him, to witness
It's being stupid again.
his powers and to line up for autographs on the cover of his
He
new
did
book.
get owned.
They stood in line because they had just witnessed an extraordinary sight. Hundreds brought with them broken watches and clocks, many of which hadn't run for years.
Oh,
Then
kid.
they sat back
Those were put in the crowd, you jerk.
and watched the bioenergy of Uri Geller go to work.
You can see that the second hand. Can the camera show the second hand?
People just ate shit back then.
I don't know how to show it, that it's not working.
The
but can you
Shank song of 70s daytime TV.
That he is working with. He's got a whole huge handful. How many there? Maybe 10.
I don't know.
What a
Let's
crock
go.
of shit.
This is what I want you all to do now, and I know it looks silly. I'm going to shout 1, 2, 3, and all of us are going to shout work. I mean, we're really loud and really talk to these watches because that's the way it works. 1, 2, 3.
It annoys me that people were that stupid back then. You know what I mean? It bothers me. It's who would fall for this corny shit and then actually start counting with them like, yeah, this is great.
Listen a little louder. It's your watches, you know.
We may have blown out the transmitter, I think.
One more time.
Gullible dopes.
1, 2, 3, work! hold this for me for a second.
What the hell? Can we hear that again? Someone went, "Mah!"
2, 3, work! Hold this for me for a second. 2, 3, work! Hold this for me.
What's wrong with that? I think someone had a stroke. I think they killed someone during that scream.
Now what I do is I sort of finally put an energy into it, and I say work, and I just talk to these watches, and I'm sure most of them will.
And just clenching his fist. He's clenching his
Yeah, he was on Johnny Carson too. That's when Randy got him.
It is. Okay, here's a watch that's working.
Another one is working.
Hand them to me and I'll try and identify.
They really do believe everything on TV.
Jewelry, bracelet watch is working. The second hand is sweeping along on this.
It's working. It's working.
Here's another one.
Ugh, it's so dumb. People think, like, oh, you're so magical.
Here's a Seiko watch.
Yeah. Right out into the cattle grinder, you stupid
watched
assholes.
And thousands more listened on radio station KVI. The city of Seattle witnessed the power of biological energy in an even more convincing form.
This is what I want you to do. I'm holding these keys in my hand very, very gently. And what I want you to do, Ken, is put your hands on these keys, cover them, and cover these ones. No, not very, very gently. Now, this is what I
boy
do.
that's helping Uri had his
first of all,
hands covering the keys that are.
Hold on, it's being stupid. Are we good? And like it comes in waves. It comes in waves. It's good for a second, then it sucks. Then it's good, then it sucks.
Concentrating now. And by the way, these keys are not mine. And I'm concentrating now, and I want something to happen. Can if you feel anything in any hand, tell me. If you feel any tingling sensation or heat or where do you feel
The keys are in Uri's hands. The little boy is holding his hands over the keys, but.
All right, now start concentrating, Ken. What you will have to do is you have to say, Ben. I hope you have enough feeling there, because I don't know how long this will take.
Uri's hands are flat.
How come you couldn't do it? How come you couldn't do it when someone was testing you, you jerk?
Something is happening here.
And he thinks something is happening. He has now discarded the keys in his left hand. The boy still is covering the keys in Uri's right hand. Uri, incidentally, is left-handed.
Okay,
now lift your hand. Ken, lift your hand. Do you see any keys bending?
I see one. Oh, yes, this is bending.
One key is
Wait a
bending.
minute, I have to show this to the TV.
I have no patience for this stupid shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, wait a minute.
Wow, look at that.
Definitely. It's a big, thick brass Schlag or Schlager type of key.
I don't know what this
Just
key
like
is
the one he
for.
bent last night
You
for
see
us.
what I'm doing is I'm stroking it very, very gently, and yeah, it's curling up more.
Whoa!
You see that,
Ken?
Ken?
You can see it.
It's really happening, huh?
Bending even more.
Yeah, this will curl up a little more here. You see, I'm putting an energy into it. Can you see this from the...
It's incredible.
I don't see it bending.
I
don't see shit bending.
Touch the key, and you'll feel it. Touch it under, or under where it's
Right where
bending.
it's
Do you
bending.
feel any heat? There's absolutely no. You do feel, but there's really no heat. It's you touch it. I mean, you can see if there's really heat or not.
No, it's
No,
just the body
it's the
warmth.
body warmth.
Body warmth, and it's continuing to bend.
Magic.
Show it to the camera.
And you see that?
All right, come on, get off this guy. No one believes this fucking idiot.
The key that he has bent is fastened to a key cluster, and another key is beginning to bend on the cluster.
If you ever look up Uri Geller and James Randi, it's one of the greatest things ever. With Johnny Carson.
But let me just start for everybody.
That's pretty good.
To back up the biological energy demonstration, Geller called on others in the audience to check for keys which may also have responded to the presence of Geller's energy. The Seattle Post
Hey, don't bend my key, fuckhead. I have to use that.
Intelligencer told the story of hundreds of radio listeners
You bend
whose
my key,
keys
I'm gonna
mysteriously
stomp you.
began bending right in their pockets. In the audience, there were others who found themselves a terminal for the newly
It really is amazing how stupid they were.
source of power.
You know what it is?
In the audience, belonging to people here who are bending.
It's specifically like boomers. They believe, not now, but back when they were kids, they believed everything.
We've seen
Bunch of
keys
retards.
that have shown him which are beginning to bend.
They still kind of get a little gullible. You know what I mean? Hold on, it's being stupid again.
A lady who
I gotta ride the wave.
and she's just handed him a key.
That is bent.
And it is beginning to bend. Very slightly, but
Come on. I gotta get through this.
noticeably.
It's unreal.
This is torture.
Because you know what's unbelievable here? That usually the kids that are coming to me, that their keys bend, and usually it happens to children.
Why?
Because children are more open-minded to this. I mean, look, look at these keys, they're totally bent.
Would you say that it's necessary for a person to believe they can bend
Yes.
before they will bend?
You see, a child believes that he's...
Yeah, they have this magical thinking.
He can bend the
They
key
exactly.
because
They love
he's
Q.
totally innocent to it. He totally believes that his key can bend, and it does.
Like if you told one of them something, like, and I don't want to get on bashing them, you know what I mean? Because I don't really care that much, and I don't really hate them or anything. But like their face, they'll look at you like you're stupid. But if you make some kind of vague, corny fucking poem out of it, they're like, "Wow, this is really interesting." Wow, this guy's speaking the truth.
The scene is in the southeastern United States.
You can't just tell them straight
and the
out.
Photographer Todd Anthony is out to take his first trial pictures with his new 8mm motion picture camera. He goes to his local airport to photograph the action of a commercial airline.
Well, you know, it's not that they don't think people will lie to them. It's like, lie to me. I'm much too smart to fall for that crap. They get fooled. They get fooled every time.
The airplane makes its approach, and following it comes the big surprise, a UFO. The UFO, exhibiting anti-gravity capabilities, follows the airliner right down to the surface of the Earth to its landing.
Whoa, look at that. That's so
is a
real.
bell-shaped type, which
Now
has
that's
been
fucking
seen and
real.
photographed all over the world
Whoa,
since the 1950s.
totally not hanging from a string.
From Australia to Western Europe to South Africa to Mount Palomar in California, where George Adamski made excellent still pictures, all with the same bell-shaped
What Mr. Bones
configuration
says.
with 3 spheres on the bottom. There are some very significant things about this UFO type. Under the bell-shaped hull are 3 spheres. It is these globes
And then turns on Dr. Phil.
which, when excited by a high energy level, cause the UFO to become immune to gravity. At this point, the UFO begins to take on a glow. At a higher state of excitation, it is ready to move into its home dimension, a dimension which is not light years away, but right here,
The skeleton man said. They called the guy who tricked him an idiot.
or reality. A significant amount of scientific research evidence now seems to confirm the amazing fact that UFOs such as this are interdimensional spacecraft.
Are they from, what's that place?
These same types of UFOs
Ummo.
have been photographed, invisible to the human eye,
And the
by
one punk
means
rock
of
said that I
ultraviolet
forgot.
filters, and have been found to be trailing our commercial airlines flights at 35,000 feet, just as this
I pause it every time. It drops.
flight
There we go.
was tailed
We're
by a
almost done,
UFO
guys.
right
We're
to
almost
its
done.
landing.
We're gonna get through it.
This
We're,
time,
we're going on fumes, but we're gonna make it.
it was visible. We have presented evidence that many times commercial flights near a UFO have lost electrical
you know,
control
they always had
and their
plans.
aircraft instrumentation. Pilots have confirmed this fact.
I never got how people could fall for the hypnotists that made people act like chickens. Like how? Like I remember being a little kid thinking, how could people fall for this? It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. They can't make you think you're a chicken, but people would buy it. You don't see it anymore because they'd be laughed out of the building.
Passengers
But people
have
fell
been
for that
injured
shit.
as pilots have taken evasive action when surprised by a UFO which to them seemed to be on a collision course. No world scientific agency or government group has
stupid that is.
seriously studied the problems of UFO encounters, or kidnappings, or losses of aircraft due to the UFO. Is the UFO mystery...
Oh man, it's ridiculous tonight.
truly a scientific Watergate, an
What is
incredible
that thing?
and dangerous cover-up? Understanding of the
It was
UFO
so good the first
may
hour.
be beyond our
We only got
science
13 minutes left, guys. We could do it. We
and
could do it.
political system, but it is not beyond the human mind. The alien intelligences of the UFO and the human earthlings are all common inhabitants of the cosmic energy intelligence continuum.
I don't believe someone's that stupid.
Dr. Lawrence at Ecola Institute showed us with his stellartrons that the alien
I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
of the UFO might be in cosmic communication by use of a high-level energy, which we know as etheric, bio-orgone, or nearly 100 similar...
But, you know, at least, like, that John Edwards guy, yeah, he was a lying douche. But at least that was a slick operation. You know what I mean? Like, fucking the hypnotist things and... You know, because they had mics listening to people and stuff.
Names, but it is
hypnotist
unrecognized in our science.
I mean, they shouldn't have fought for it anyway. I see what you're saying.
And in
but...
our civilization, which runs and communicates on the energies of the electromagnetic spectrum. Uri Geller mentally directs his
stop.
biological
Enough with this
energy
idiot.
and that of other people, and they bend mental keys. In the vicinity of UFOs,
all right, the video doesn't matter. I'm just going to let it run.
Control and instrumentation. And without doubt,
I got to get through this before my internet explodes.
Also affected by this energy which bends keys. Other more incredible things are happening. During a single year, for instance, nearly 10,000 head of farmers' livestock have been mutilated.
That's it.
In an area
they
from
pressure
Texas to eastern Oregon and Washington. Police and agricultural scientists alike are helpless. No flying predator exists which mutilates an animal's tender parts or swallows it up completely, leaving behind a bare skeleton. UFOs can be blamed, says the University of Wyoming student newspaper.
Right, exactly. That's how you know it's fake.
There is now striking evidence that the cause is not a configurated UFO.
Could you, like, play a trick on a hypnotist, right? Like, he tells you to be a chicken, and you know it's all horseshit, right? And then they snap your fingers, and you're like, yeah, you're a chicken now. And then you just pull your pecker out and just shake it around. That's not what I said. I said be a chicken. And you're just sitting there flapping your pecker about.
But what is mistaken for
and then you can say, I don't know. The guy hypnotized me.
Just as new to science. Invisible, which can be photographed with the aid of an ultraviolet filter 18A and Ectacolor film. This was first accomplished by Trevor James Constable, a UFO researcher for a quarter of
There's the beret guy punk rock was talking about.
Century. Constable in Southern California builds equipment which gathers orgone energy, or etheric or biological energy. Years ago, he noted that his energy
like a chicken.
gathering devices attracted invisible
You can say, hey, I was hypnotized, you jerk. I'm suing you. I'm suing you for everything. You made me pull my pecker out.
He also photographed them at 35,000 feet through an ultraviolet filter near a commercial
You motherfucker.
jet. They were invisible to the pilot. This is an artist's drawing by Don Dixon.
Yeah, just start
of
pecker
one of the
flapping.
frames of the research camera's film showing the invisible flying critter. Apparently, the predator sought by farmers and county sheriffs nationwide is the animal killer. The invisible flying predator. There seems no other explanation of what has happened to the thousands of mutilated animals. Once again, a new scientific door is opened, and through it we see invisible animals which can fly by degravitating themselves.
Invisible animals?
Which seem to live off the biological energy of other land-bound animals.
Now there's invisible animals
May
out
or
there?
may not have any connection with the spacecraft UFOs, but it seems they have been mistaken for configurated UFOs with their humanoid crewmen bound on their...
Man, that'd be perfect timing to projectile defecate. You know what I mean? I'm not shitting for a week, man. I'm waiting till this hypnotist comes this Thursday. It's Sunday. I know. It's going to be rough. I'm holding in all that shit.
Of the study of the Earth's inhabitants by means of kidnappings and sample gathering of Earthman's devices.
You think they're photoshopped?
In the U.S., it is at Federal Aviation Administration flight centers that air traffic controllers are trained to handle the routing of aircraft in the nation's air lanes. so as to keep constant eyes on the safety of flight procedures. But what about the UFO? What about near misses where UFOs and passenger airplanes were involved? These near misses have occurred, and when the pilot takes evasive action,
This is the weirdest thing I think we ever watched.
Injured. This we know to be fact. UFOs are conveniently ignored by all. This is the FAA interpretation. Air traffic controllers are just that, not UFO traffic controllers.
Now all I can think about is
UFOs
hypnotist.
are ignored in the FAA procedures, even though it can now be proven that not only have near misses occurred, but that aircraft have been lost in the powerful
proof?
energy fields of the UFO.
There was that one Australian
the UFO
guy who was
problem
crazy.
has not as yet been permitted to be properly studied. Truly, is this expensive and complex world air
There's like
traffic
one time this Australian guy's like, this thing's following me, and he crashed. But the guy was crazy who failed his pilot license exam thing like 1,000,000 times.
control system really
Screaming
adequate?
the N-word.
The evidence now indicates that not only the military, but also
And
the
don't
civil
stop. Unhypnotize you. Don't stop. Just keep yelling it and then sue the guy.
bureaus of world government
You ruined my
have been
life.
engaged in an incredible and deep cover-up of the real menace of the stepped-up UFO invasion of their target, Earth. The police departments of the world are
You've seen
helpless
that picture
before
already.
the kidnappers of the UFO. This, too, we now know to be fact. How is this non-feasance possible? This is Joe Harrell. He runs the Flight Control Center near Seattle, Washington. His job is to run it and train air traffic controllers. What we wish to point out now
That guy
by
doesn't look
question
trustworthy.
is how
I
extremely
don't trust anybody with wood paneling.
expensive governmental bureaucracy is able to ignore an obvious peril to world citizens by simply non-admission of the existence of this mind-boggling problem.
To my knowledge, UFOs are not included in any of the training programs. We would, of course, provide instructions to our supervisors on how to handle reports of UFOs, but it is not included in the training of a controller.
So I suppose the only way in which it would be included would be I assume you admonish these people to be aware of any unusual circumstance.
The wood panel community can suck my ass.
That's right, and make the pilots aware of what they're aware
He just has
of.
a nice tan.
And to this extent, it would be included. But
He likes to
of course,
pick up the ladies on the beach.
specific procedures, no.
After $60-odd billion,
Hey, I have wood paneling in the rec room. And JD, no one trusts you, dude. No
for
one.
manned
They
space
call you shady behind your back.
flight by NASA, it has been determined that man is truly confined to this Earth. The incredible secret,
I wasn't serious about the wood paneling, JD.
concealed from the tax-paying public by both NASA and its congressional masters, is that man cannot participate in long space expeditions. NASA has scientifically verified and kept very quiet the fact that the unstoppable cosmic rays to which every astronaut has been exposed destroys
get out of here. Can you end
brain
this
cells
already?
at the rate of 1%.
It made no
every
fucking
4
sense.
months.
Made no fucking
Since
sense.
the neurons of the adult human brain do not reproduce, a space expedition represents irreparable brain damage and would reduce
This documentary gave me irreparable brain damage.
the crew to idiots in even
It's
the
our
8 years it would take to go to the nearest sun and return. NASA claims that the
Throwing
13%
jerking your
loss
pecker and throwing handfuls of feces into the
of
crowd.
neurons would equal the brain damage sustained by an alcoholic.
Get him! He made that guy retarded.
But NASA does not allow for increased intensity of cosmic ray bombardment as the astronaut moves in space.
Now I want to get angry letters about wood paneling. I wasn't serious
must
about wood
now
paneling.
admit that man cannot travel far in space because of significant brain damage which he will undergo. The main building of a graduate university of advanced study in Switzerland near Basel is Das Goetheanum, acclaimed by architectural students and professional architects as being a space shape of striking originality. Das Goetheanum was founded in the early 1900s by Dr. Rudolf Steiner, whose philosophy of science deals with the influence of alien cosmic intelligences on the human mind. Dr. Steiner was a highly trained...
Yeah, and then you have to say, hey, it's just a joke. It's not real. It's not real.
Scientist and clairvoyant who could see to a higher etheric energy dimension. He could see a view of cosmic reality which is denied to normal human vision. In some 6,000 lectures attended by the best minds of Europe, he made his observations known to those who would...
Keep saying that. Top scientists, best minds of Europe, but never drops any names.
From this higher
What
knowledge.
the fuck kind of ugly-ass building is that?
This information is now available.
Looks like a giant inflatable bouncy house.
The key to the secrets of the universe.
You can't just drop a whole load of horse shit on all of us and then pretend you're the smart guy walking with a book and a suit on. Get out of here.
Man's pursuit of the mystery surrounding the UFO and the Etherians continues. And although many books have been written about
probably
the
a
subject,
toupee.
the best available information
Trust the
is
science.
speculation. So what we have offered you is the best available speculation.
You gave us nothing.
2 questions.
No, you've had enough.
First, who are the Etherians? Notwithstanding their similarity
no
to man,
Etherians.
the Etherian's body is different from man's. They live in their own dimension, so we see only their servants.
You would let loose the Jews?
The Etherian overlords of the UFO have thinking minds, feelings, and emotions like we do.
Book of Pie recipes.
They have a strong sense of will,
Or his manifesto against the local politicians.
sense of purpose. And they live in their own dimension, so they can't set foot in our material world, according to Dr. Steiner.
A phone book.
Next, why are they here? Why are they interested in Earth humans? Maybe we're
I don't know. Why aren't they interested in Mars humans? Why just Earth humans?
doing something here on Earth that is disturbing their world, their dimension. Maybe we are doing something here on Earth that is upsetting
Michael J.
the
Fox on the
balance
camera.
of the universe. UFOs have been seen for centuries. Is this recent stepped-up activity over the last 30 years due to some recent disturbances within our dimension? Maybe we have sent giant shock waves throughout the universe, and the Etherians are here on Earth, trying to find out what they can do about
I don't.
this
It's
truth.
weird. It's why I like watching them. I know they're terrible. Like I understand they're terrible, but there's something so stupid about them, and the shitty propaganda in it. You just gotta watch
One
them.
thing could well be the high harmonics of the sonic boom of the
People believe
supersonic
this
bomber,
shit, man, in
such
droves.
as the B-1.
People
An
loved it.
interdimensional space quake could have sent shock waves into their dimension.
And of course, they're trying to bring this alien crap back now. So it's like, yeah, this is the shit we're talking about. This is the shit they want to bring back.
Atomic devices could be another element.
People forgot about
disturbing
UFOs
beings
for
in
a
other
reason.
dimensions. But the Etherians seem to be sampling our dimension by human
Get out of my
kidnapping
dimension.
and the taking of animals and the taking of sophisticated electronic devices.
Leave her
made
buttholes
by our
alone.
Earthman scientists. The Etherians seem to want to know what we are doing, and we had better know too. Think about what we are doing to ourselves, because it could have a profound effect on beings in other dimensions. And this whole question about UFOs could be a much larger question than devices simply flying around in our airspace.
Well, yeah, and it has some of the cheesiest characters.
We will meet the Etherians.
Etherians. No one heard of Etherians after this. Or almost.
When we are worthy.
Whoa! They're gonna nuke us or something. You'd visit Copes? What about Fed Smoker? You'd have to zap into the passenger seat in Fed Smoker's car. Whoa! That was terrible. I mean, it was funny, but it was terrible. The beginning of what? What does that even mean? What are you beginning about? Amy fell down the stairs. She did a video today. I didn't get to watch it yet, but it's Hammy, so it's probably really boring. All right, guys, I gotta keep going. I don't know what the hell that was, or what the fuck that was about. I don't even know. It was terrible. That's all I know. But hey, I'll see you Friday or something. Bye, boy.